Yeah, we can do that. Each week at this point in our gathering, we do something called a community moment, where someone from our community gets up and shares. Frequently, it's the story of your walk to free thought and how it came about for you. But it can be any observation on life. It could be thoughts from a book you've read. Something you want to share. With the community. We've had all kinds of topics. So if you'd like to do it, please get with me. We're scheduling up into the end of September now for community moments, so a lot of you are stepping forward, and that's great. Today, our community moment presenter is, he's presented more community moments than anybody in the brief history of Houston Oasis. I call him the Cal Ripken of community moments. So let's welcome to the podium our friend Lew Kana.
Not too much pressure, Mike. I thought I would try to, since it's now 1 week into the official Houston summer, try to cool you all off. So, we should talk about this. So that made it into the news again because the current USA soccer team is big underdogs. Thank you, Mike. As were the United States team in 1980, and we won. We got the gold medal. This talk is about what everybody said about that. What was the headline of the news about that event when the USA actually won that game, which was the semifinal? Remember what everybody said?
Miracle on Ice.
Miracle on ice. So, was it really a miracle? And then, I don't have it with me. Excuse me. In more recent more current events was this little article from the Houston Chronicle. Cantor loses in miracle upset in Virginia. There's that word again. A political science professor said, "This is a miracle from God that just happened." However, the supporters of Eric Cantor said, obviously we came up short, which is kind of what we would think. So let's talk a little bit about miracles. You may remember about 6 weeks ago we talked about the word spiritual and how it's kind of lost a lot of meaning because it's used wherever it's convenient for people. And people do the same thing, obviously, with miracles. I mean, I don't think anybody on the U.S. hockey team thought that their winning was a miracle. So, what is a miracle, anyway? I found a definition in the Viking Press Desk Encyclopedia that said, it's a departure from the usual course of nature due to supernatural interposition. Wikipedia expounded on that and said, the word miracle is often used to characterize any beneficial event that is statistically unlikely, but not contrary to the laws of nature, such as surviving a natural disaster, or simply a wonderful occurrence, regardless of likelihood, such as a birth. Other miracles might be surviving of an illness diagnosed as terminal, escaping a life-threatening situation, or beating the odds. Some coincidences may be seen as miracles. So, the question I have for you folks is, what's a miracle? So I'm turning this over to you.
A mindful of a cleric spell in D&D.
Excuse me? Repeat that, Gary?
It's a 9th level cleric spell in D&D.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Thoughts on miracles since...
I don't use it.
Excuse me?
I don't use it.
Good. Yeah. Very few of us do. But it's hard to avoid, isn't it? It keeps coming up all the time. People tend to really, just like they do with the word spiritual, overuse it.
And literally. They use
Yep.
miracle in the same sense that they use literally as an intensifier as opposed to...
Yeah. Eddie? Excuse me.
Just, maybe definition number 3, a surprise.
A surprise.
A good surprise.
Casually used,
Is that a good surprise?
generally. Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'd say yes. Sure.
I have one. It was in the news recently on television. You may have seen it. It's usually paragolia. It's, in this case, it was a wrinkled page in a Bible that was supposedly looked like Jesus. Oh, the proof just keeps on pouring in.
That is supposedly a miracle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
It's a way,
Burnt toast is a miracle.
toast is a miracle.
Well, I think it's a way of explaining something you don't understand.
Sure.
Something good.
Yeah. I think you'll all agree with what Johnny just said. It's a one way of explaining something you don't understand.
Something exceptional.
Right.
Which is really what faith is, but we've already beat that one to death some time ago. Yeah. I'm sorry, somebody else want to comment?
It's also a baby name that started popping up recently. They add the indefinite article in front of it, and some people read it as a miracle.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
Do that to my child.
Baby name. Are there no limits to the misuse? Anybody else, any thoughts on miracles?
The name of a horse in the Mel Brooks movie.
Was it really?
History of the World Card.
Yeah, History of the World.
Name of a horse in
Yes,
a
miracle.
Mel Brooks movie.
It was a
meaning
famous
that if it
racehorse.
won, it was a miracle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So a plot device.
Attributing everything good to God. And if bad things happen, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. You're attributing good things to God, and if it's bad, it's unfortunate. Right.
The Greek
It's
God-
not like an anti-miracle.
Oh, so the Greek gods were often known for intervening in human affairs, and that's the intervention of deities because they have their politics and they want to play humans out for their own ends.
Okay.
So when supernatural things happen, it's a miracle. It's something that the Greek gods were doing to
Divine intervention.
intervene with human affairs.
And if it didn't happen,
That was a good thing generally.
No, they've been bad and they deserve it.
yeah. If it didn't rain,
They were
that's
bad.
the gods were mad at you
Mhm.
or something. Yeah.
It's a curse.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
On a similar note, the term "it was meant to be" is sort of like the miracle word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Predestination.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. That sounds like anybody want to take that one on as a community moment? Might be me, but if you get there first. Anybody else?
I've heard it used as an expression for insurmountable odds, like, something's going to be.
For, I'm
like,
sorry.
It would take a miracle for this to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Something that's way out there may not ever happen. It would take a miracle.
Sure. So it would take, in this case, divine intervention for it
Right.
to actually happen. Sure. I like that.
Something impossible.
Standard deviation.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Standard deviation.
Great.
Okay.
One last
Mike?
thing.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. Yes.
Last one.
There are humans who also perform miracles, usually prophets or so. It could be it could be an act performed by a human,
Like a faith healer?
like something like that, like a miracle. healing the blind or stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you
That's
often
awesome.
wonder why you never see faith healers in hospitals? Yeah, they're on their own
Hospitals
ground.
on business.
I'm waiting for one to put an arm back on somebody.
Pardon?
I'm waiting for somebody to regrow an arm. That would be a really serious miracle.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for your comments.
That's an interesting
Yes, sir,
definition.
I guess we have one last one.
That's an interesting definition, the last one, because it completely counteracts the definition that you have of it being improbable. Because with faith healing, the outcome is predestined
Sure.
or expected.
Well, for some people, it's even more common occurrence, just like finding your keys.
Yeah.
In your case, everything that happens in life, even the lights coming on, is a miracle. So.
Good. Let's give Lew a hand. Thank you. One of the things I always appreciate about your community moments, Lew, is you make us, you always give me something to think about that's going to bug me the rest of the week. This week is going to be that word. Although I think I thought of an example that probably no one's really going to argue with. It would be a miracle if Houston Oasis ever started on time. Okay.